Okay, so today we're looking at how to add fractions. Now, this is probably the trickiest, along with subtraction, the trickiest thing to do when working with fractions. So we're going to go through lots of different examples today. We're going to start quite easily and then work our way through. So, most easy would be something along the lines of 8/10 add 1/10. Now, what makes this easy is the fact that the denominators are the same. So all I have to do is add the numerators. So 8/10 add 1/10 equals 9/10. The same if you had, for example, 2/7 add 3/7 would equal 5/7. Okay? Right, let's step it up a bit now. So for example, if we had a question such as 2/5 add 3/10. So the key is that in order to add or subtract fractions, in this case add, we need to make sure that the denominators are the same. Well, at the moment my denominators are 5 and 10. So what I need to do is change this denominator into 10. And I can do that because 5 is a factor of 10. So I apply the granddad rule. If you remember, we spoke about this in class. To get from 5 to 10, I multiply by 2. The granddad rule means whatever I do to one of the numbers, I have to do to the other. So in this case, the numerator, I also have to times by 2. So 2/5 is equivalent to 4/10, and then the 3/10 just stays the same. 4/10 add 3/10 equals 7/10. So 2/5 add 3/10 equals 7/10. Let's have a look at one more of those. So for example, I could have 1/6 add 2/3. Okay, again, I can just change the third into sixths because it's a multiple of that. So I would turn that into sixths times 2. Therefore, I have to times the numerator by 2, applying the granddad rule. Becomes 4/6. 2/3 is equivalent to 4/6. The 1/6 would stay the same. 1/6 add 4/6 would be 5/6. I just want to do one more of those that's slightly different. So for example, I could have 5/12 add 1/3. This time I'm not multiplying by 2, but 3 is a factor of 12. So I just need to change the thirds into 12ths. I'm timesing by 4. So I have to times the numerator by 4. So it would become 4/12. 5/12 stays the same. Would be 9/12. Okay? Right, let's step it up a little bit further now. Let's say we had 2/5 add 1/7. Okay? This time, again, I need to make the denominators the same. But I'm going to have to change both of them this time. So I need to find the lowest common multiple. Okay? Now, some people find this really straightforward. If not, I can give you a little tip on a good way to work. So, what number is in the times tables of 5 and 7? Well, in this case, it's 35. Okay? So again, apply the granddad rule. 5 times 7 is 35. 2 times 7 is 14. 7 times 5 is 35. 1 times 5 is 5. So it becomes 14/35 add 5/35 will be 19/35. Okay? Right, let me talk to you about when you find it difficult to find that lowest common multiple. So let's say I had 2/9 add 1/4. Okay, now this method won't always give you the lowest common multiple, but it gives you a common multiple, and then you can always simplify after if you need to. So in this case, I can do 9 times 4 is 36. Therefore, 9 and 4, a common multiple is 36. Okay, so that's a good way to find a common multiple if you're stuck. So again, apply the granddad rule. So it becomes 8/36, add 9/36, and the answer is 17/36. And then if you need to put it in the simplest form, just have a look to see if that can be simplified. And in this case, 17 is a prime number, so I know it definitely cannot be simplified. Okay, right, let's step it up now to the most difficult level. So let's say I had 2 1/4, add 1 and 5/8. Okay, so now I'm working with mixed numbers. It's just adding in an extra step for this. I have to then turn it into an improper fraction first. So 2 1/4, or 2 times 4 is 8, add 1 is 9/4. 1 5/8, well 1 times 8 is 8, add 5 is 13/8. Then make the denominators the same. So in this case, I can just change the 4 to an 8 like we looked at earlier. So I'm times in by 2. Apply the granddad rule. 13/8 will stay the same. And then add them together. Sometimes you might need to do a little written method, and that's okay. 31/8. Now you might need to put that back to a mixed number, but unless it asks you to, leave it as an improper fraction. Okay, we'll just do one more of those together. Okay, so again, change them into improper fractions. 3 times 2 is 6, add 1 is 7 halves. 2 times 5 is 10, add 2 is 12/5. I need to find the lowest common multiple if I can. In this case, it would be 10. So I change them into tenths. Apply the granddad rule. So 35/10 are 24/10 equals 59/10. Okay, and that's how to add fractions.